Yo, what's good with y'all? In today's video, I got how to make grow a garden. This is, I want to say, part 8, I believe, and stuff. If you are still a brain rot fan, like someone who like watches my still a brain rot series, don't even comment it. I know exactly what you're gonna say. More still a brain rot content is on the way, but let me show grow a garden series some love. Okay, so I only did one thing in this video, but I feel like it. First of all, it took me long enough just to finish this. And two, I feel like this is enough. So I finalized data saving and stuff, which also included a revamp into how I not a revamp in how I save data, but more so load data. I changed how I load data and stuff with the help of ChatGPT, made it a lot better and whatnot. So yeah, so as you guys know at this moment in time, things like stats and stuff they save right now, how much shekels you have, and how much seeds and plants you have, like that saves, but your actual like plants and stuff on the like seed beds and stuff, that does not save and stuff, right? So I added that. Only problem, it does not save for multi-harvest. I did not do that because that would have been much more difficult and I didn't really feel like doing that. So they do save for like regular seeds. If you're confused what I'm talking about, so if I go to my seeds folder, you guys see how we have the multi, which is the the group model, right? It only saves for these kind, for like just these regular ones, the single harvest and stuff. Now don't worry, if you have multi-harvest and stuff, it's not gonna break anything if you do have it. I put a check in place to ensure that it checks to make sure that it is a single harvest plant before it tries to save it. So you're not gonna break anything. It just won't save for multi-harvest, but yeah. So yeah, so you guys know the drill. Show the series love and support, and I'll continue keep the series going. At the moment, still a Brain Rot's getting the most love, so that's what's gonna, get the most attention. But yep, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Okay, so first things first, right? We're gonna head on over to the server script. Well, actually, we're really just gonna be here. The module script will be there for like 5 seconds, but this is really it. So we're gonna need to do a whole bunch of like moving things around. Make sure you're paying attention and stuff, because we're gonna move things, change some things, copy and paste, and yeah. So we're gonna go after the plant data store, and then we're going to create a new data store for our seed bed. So seed bed data store is equal to data store service get data store, and then seed bed on that data store, right? Then after that, after the core events, you're then going to need two variables. We're going to need to get create a variable for the seeds folder as well as the core module, but we already have those variables created. We're just going to simply go retrieve them. So if you scroll down, you'll see right here we have the core module as well as the seeds folder. So you can just select that, highlight it, cut, right? You're going to get a ton of errors. That's perfectly fine, right? Scroll up to the top, go right here, just paste. All we do is just move them up so that they're available up here. This is honestly how I usually do stuff anyway and how I should have been doing stuff. But anyway, um, so from there we're gonna change how we do things. So we're gonna create so this entire thing is gonna be like pretty much removed. Like we're gonna take stuff from inside of these functions. Let me move it over here. I realized I was actually loading data incorrectly, so we're gonna change how I do that. So if I enter create a space, we're gonna create a function for loading data. So we're gonna say local function, right? And then you're gonna call it load player data, right? In parentheses, put PLR, which is short for the player, and then also the garden. So the player is assigned garden. Press enter, right? First things first, obviously we have the key for the player. So key is equal to player dot user ID, right? Then we're gonna set up our protocol. So success comma result is equal to, and like I said, it's a little different now. So we're gonna say pcal, oh my bad, pcal function, close parentheses, enter, right? Then you're gonna say return. We're gonna return this. Then we're gonna set up a table, or well, sorry, an array. Then we're gonna say stats data store. We're gonna do the same thing that we were doing before. So we can really just scroll down, copy and paste real quick. So right here, this stuff right here is gonna copy and paste this and everything. And that's why I'm saying it's very important that y'all pay attention because I'm gonna be copying and pasting some things, deleting some things, and changing stuff around. So you gotta pay attention. So we're gonna paste, right? Um, so we have our so then you're gonna get rid of the variable names because you don't need that. You're just gonna put this right here. Or sorry, you're gonna remove the whole variable thing. All you're gonna do is simply just say get async. That's all you're gonna do. So remove that as well. There we go. Stats status store get async, and then obviously just put a comma after each one, right? After each entry. So stats, seed, plant, and then obviously we're gonna have to add the seed bed. So seed bed data store get async. So same thing. Throw the key in there, and then yeah, and then just make sure it's formatted correctly. I'll just right click and then click format selection just so it's just formatted correctly. Then you're going to go after the end, right? And then you're simply going to say if not success, enter, then return false. It'll just return false. And what'll happen is we're gonna set it up after we're done with this entire function. We're gonna set up here to where we're gonna call this load data function, load player data function, and then if it returns false, then we'll just keep calling it in a while loop. This is how I should have been doing it properly. Then after that, we're just gonna go ahead and set up our variables for our data, right? So um we're then just going to say local stats data is equal to result, right? Regular bracket one, then because obviously as you can see we're going in the order we put them. So stats first, seed, plants, and then seed bed. So then we have seed data is equal to result, regular bracket one, then create a variable for our plant data is equal to result, regular bracket oh three. Oh my bad, I don't know why I put one, it's supposed to be two. My bad guys. Then lastly, seed bed data is equal to result four, right? Then after that, let's say that it failed to retrieve the data and stuff. And let's say it failed to retrieve the data, and but like how do I explain this? It failed to retrieve some data, but it was able to retrieve it was able to retrieve a partial amount of data, not all the data. We want to ensure that like data isn't duplicated, which is an issue I was running into. You want to make sure nothing is duplicated, so we're just gonna go ahead and wipe everything. We're gonna say player dot seed inventory get children, or sorry, not get children. It's clear all children. My bad. So just go right here, clear all children. Yeah, right. And then after this, obviously we're gonna do this before we add the stuff, and then yeah, then we'll add everything. So then just copy that, paste that, and then just change this to plant inventory, right? Then after that, we'll just set up the simple thing, which is just if stats data, right? Enter, and then you just say player dot leader stats. You could also just copy and paste it, just shekels dot value is equal to stats data regular bracket one, right? So we have that. Then great news, we come down here, we copy and paste. Okay, so here's what I recommend doing. I recommend clicking the arrows to the side of the if statements to close them and stuff, right? So you could just simply copy and paste. So I recommend just doing that, right? This is what I meant when I said you could have just copy and pasted it, but um, well, you would also add the player, but so you're gonna go here, copy and paste the two if statements, right? Copy, scroll up, oh, right here. Go after this one, paste now, so we're gonna need to add a third one and stuff. We're obviously gonna need to add a third one when we're done. Um, I'm a million percent sure. Yeah, I didn't change anything. The good news, I didn't change anything with these two. They load data the same way. I simply just made sure that they're also loaded here. Um, so then now we just need to include the seedbed data stuff. So we're gonna say if seedbed data, right? Enter. You use a for loop just like we did the first two times. So for I comma v in I pairs, right? You'll say seedbed data, right? Make sure it's the right one. Enter. Then so just to clarify, the way the data is and stuff, right? We're inserting an array into, or I think it's a table or an array, I don't know. We're inserting an array, right? Which is pretty much just like it's like multiple pieces of data, right? It's like this. Like we're doing like seed name is equal to carrot, right? Comma, and then position is equal to, vector three. Like we're doing all of that. So we're gonna pretty much like each individual, we'll say piece of data inside of the seedbed data is like its own data for each individual plant and stuff, right? So first thing first, we'll get seed info. So seed info is like the main folder. So seed info is equal to set seedbed data regular bracket I. So for that specific one. Then after that, we're gonna go ahead and get the values. So first we're just gonna put saved before everything. So saved growth percentage. This is, whatever the current growth percentage was, or whatever the previous growth percentage was before they left the game, is equal to seed info, right? Regular bracket, quotation marks, you're going to put growth percentage, make sure you type this exactly as I'm typing it, right? We can really just copy and paste this, so just control C, control plus V, control plus V, and control plus V. Then for the second thing, after growth percentage, we're just going to do position, so save to position. Now this is a little different because you can't save vector3 coordinates. So what we did is we just saved the actual individual numbers x, y, z, and then we convert it to vector3. So you're just going to change how this is done. You're going to say vector3.new, right? And then we're going to create the vector3 coordinates now. Then you're just going to say seed info, regular bracket, quotation marks. You're going to say position. We're gonna go outside those brackets, regular brackets again, quotation marks X, right? And then comma, and then you're just gonna do the same thing. So I recommend just really just, oh my bad, that's supposed to be, the comma supposed to be on the outside. So right there. And then I recommend just copying and pasting and stuff, just save ourselves some time. So boom, comma, boom. And then you're just gonna go through, just change each one. So make sure this is Y. And then last one is Z. Boom. And then we have our coordinates for the third one. We have saved seedbed. Now to clarify what that is, saved seedbed is the specific seedbed inside of the garden, right? So which seedbed one, seedbed two, or seedbed three, whichever one it is, right? That's what this keeps track of. So we have seed bed, right? So seed bed. Then for the next one, we have saved seed name. So the name of the seed, and you're just gonna put seed name, right? And then yep, seed bed and all that. Okay, looks good. Then after all those variables, we're then going to create the seed itself. This is where again copying and pasting will take us far. So you're simply going to scroll down very far. Yeah, like we're going all the way down to the remote event function, non-server event. You're looking for the plant function, right? Since we are planting, so you're just gonna copy this stuff, right? So you're just gonna copy you're gonna copy this part right here. Everything from the creating the seed variable to growth multiplier. Don't copy this stuff, don't copy that, just this stuff, right? So then you're gonna copy that. Obviously don't delete it, just leave that where that is. Then just go up here. Oh, well, back here. Paste, and then this is what I mean when I say I need you guys to pay very close attention because we do change some things. Okay, so position is obviously changed to saved position, right? Seed tool, or sorry, seed dot name, instead of it being seed tool dot name, we change it to saved seed name. As for the brick color, we're just gonna go here. We're just gonna say saved seed name, and then obviously just delete the dot name since this itself is just a name, right? Then you're gonna go down to the parent. The parent, you're gonna say garden. Remember, this is the player specific garden. Then regular bracket. Then you're gonna say regular bracket. Um, uh, saved seed bed, right? And then you're gonna go on the outside, and then you're gonna say dot seed bed. If you're confused as to what this is, remember this is gonna tell you whether like what number seed bed, right? So seed bed 1, 2, 3, or 4. So once you find that specific seed bed, you also need to reference the specific seed bed part. The save seed bed, all this is the model, right? This is the actual parts where you're going to parent the seed to, right? Then growth percentage changes. The value will be set to whatever saved growth percentage was, right? I did not save growth multiplier. I don't really think that matters, in all honesty. I mean, if y'all want me to, I could add that. I mean, it's not difficult. It's not difficult at all, in all honesty. I didn't really think anybody really cared about that, to be completely honest. But yeah, so just making sure everything looks good. Yep, save seed name, save seed bed. Yeah, yep, everything looks good. Okay. So then moving on after that, then you're gonna go after growth multiplier. We're gonna need to set up some if statements, right? So let's see, because if is greater than 80 and less than, wait, if saved is greater than or equals to 80 and less than 100, if it's equal to 100, um, I think this should work. So I'm just gonna leave it as regular if statements. Now you guys could do this with if and else if statements, but I just left it as if 'cause I didn't want any bugs when I was testing it and stuff, right? But anyway, we're gonna say if saved growth percentage is greater than or equal to 80. You're gonna notice this is very similar to the stuff we're doing with the module scripts because we're essentially we're gonna be copying and pasting from this, from the grow seed function to be exact. We're gonna make minor changes to this, but we're really just copying and pasting this stuff here. So greater than or equal to 80, saved growth percentage is less than 100. Enter. So pretty much this is for let's so for if your seed is at 80%, which means you should be able to see the plant, but you should not be able to collect it because it has not reached 100% yet, right? So you're just gonna go over here, go to this part right here, and then we're gonna copy. I want to say I think it was just this part, or really I think we just copy. Yeah, let's just copy this whole thing. So just copy this, right? So copy, go back, paste, delete the else if, right? Because like I said, I only want this to support single harvest. So delete that, right? And then we'll just throw an end right there, right? So we'll simply say plant, and then obviously, I think we can just leave, yeah, we can just leave c.name.plant clone if plant is union operation, yep, plant.position, and then is equal to seed.position, that remains the same, plant.parent is equal to seed, yep, and then seed.transparency set to 1. Then what we're going to do is something new I haven't used before. We're going to say task dot spawn, right? Then function, this is how you can like call multiple functions at the same time. I think it's like similar to like threads and parallel processing. Enter, right? And then we're going to call the function core module dot grow seed, and then send over the seed, make sure the seed, comma, and then true. What this is this means that since it's already at 80%, that means we've already created the plant. We don't want it to create two duplicates of the plant. So you're just going to go right here, and then comma, and then we're going to add something, but we're going to do that after. So don't, actually, yeah, don't have to come out. We're going to get to that later. But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to explain how that works and stuff. It's gonna just detect that. That's why we're gonna send over the true, and then you use this to be able to call multiple functions at once. Because the problem I was running into where was it would like call the grow function, and then it would wait for it to finish growing and then call the other ones. But we want everything to be called at the same time. So skip two ends. Moving on, if saved growth percentage is equal to 100, which means, and then press enter. Obviously, that means it's ready to be collected. Then you'll do the same thing with the plant and everything. So you really just grab all this stuff. Actually, you really just grab the whole thing, to be completely honest. So just copy that, paste that, some minor changes. So same thing, with the plant. So plant is equal to seed folder, seed.name plant in operation. Yep, plant.parent equal to seed. If Yep, okay. And then after setting the trans, or actually, yeah, just after. So yeah, then I'm going to say if seed dot plant is a, just to double check. Remember, union operation, enter, right? And then you're just going to say seed dot plant dot proximity prompt dot enabled is equal to true. So this is that you can collect, right? Then you're gonna go out. We already did the transparency, and then simply you're just gonna change this. This is now collect, since this is set to 100. That means you can collect it, and then seed, and then just send over to classify it as a union, right? And then boom. Then from there, skip two lines again. Now for the last one, this is simple. If saved growth percentage is less than 80, insert. Then all you gotta do is literally just copy and paste this. Control C, Control V, and then you're just gonna call the grow seed function, and then you just don't need anything. You don't need to send over anything and stuff. So grow seed, and then just send over the seed. You're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna skip four ends. Then just gonna say return true, right? Which pretty much means is if it made it down this far, then that means all like data was successfully retrieved and loaded. If it wasn't, then it would have returned false all the way up here. So that's a new data saving and loading function. We're gonna make some adjustments obviously when we go down as soon as I can find it. Yeah, right here. This function we're gonna make some adjustments. So first things first, you're gonna move the garden variable up here. So press enter to give some space. You're going to create the variable garden. Set this equal to nil by default. Go down here. All you gotta do is just delete the local because you're just gonna assign it. So garden will be set to v. Everything should still work the same. Then from there, you're gonna go after the player.character added function, right? And then all you gotta do is simply just create a variable for loaded data. Loaded data is equal to, then we're gonna call the function load player data, right? And then you're gonna send over the player as well as their garden. And then you're gonna set up a while loop. You're gonna say while not while not loaded data. While not loaded data, enter, because that means it would return false. Then you'll just wait task that wait 3 seconds, but you can put however much time you want. Then you'll just say loaded data is equal to, then you'll just call the function again. Or sorry, load player data. Load player data, player, garden, right? And then let me just double check to make sure we are good. All right, we're good. Okay. And then the great news is, guys, we can literally delete everything after this. So yeah, it makes this function a lot smaller. So again, just look for the arrow right next to the local success error message. Look for the arrow next to the while not success to. Just look for the arrow. Then all you gotta do, just select everything, backspace. clear the entire thing. Boom, boom, right? And you just get rid of that key variable, and then yep, we're good to go there. And yep, just redid that, and I think honestly saved a whole bunch of lines, like got a whole bunch of lines back. Then we're gonna go down to data saving. Minor changes here, minor changes here. You're just gonna go down here. Here's where we do the saving of the garden stuff. So you're gonna see how it's actually saved now. So you're gonna create a variable after you say after the statement for garden. You're gonna create a variable called seed bed table. This would be all the information needed to pass to save, I should say. So just create a table. Then after this, you're going to create a variable. You're gonna say seed bed is equal to v dot seed. Wait, no, that's wrong. Sorry, not seed bed. Seed. Seed is equal to v2. That's what I meant to do. My bad. Is equal to v2, right? And then you're just simply going to say if not seed is a union operation to prevent any kind of errors with multi-harvest, or if you're just using models, enter, and then continue. It'll just skip to the next one. Then after that, now we'll actually get to it. So we're gonna say table dot insert seed bed table. Let me just put a space right here. Seed bed table, right? You're going to put a comma here, then special brackets, boom, right? We're gonna go ahead and set up all the data. So regular bracket quotation marks, and then make sure you spell everything exactly as I'm doing it. So seed bed, right, is equal to seed, and then you're gonna say seed bed dot parent dot name, comma, regular bracket, quotation marks, seed name is equal to seed dot name, comma, regular bracket, quotation marks. Then you're gonna say growth percentage is equal to seed dot growth percentage dot value, comma. Then lastly, you're going to set up the position, and this is going to be obviously a little different. So quotation marks position, right? So is equal to special brackets again, and then you're going to say x is equal to seed dot position dot x, comma, then y is equal to seed dot position dot y, comma, then lastly z is equal to seed dot position dot z, right? Then after that, we'll destroy seed when we're done, as per usual. Then you're gonna skip three ends, and then you'll say seed. Make sure you're using the right data store. Seed bed data store, not seed data store. Seed bed. You're gonna say set async key, and then send over the seed bed table. Right. Then minor changes on the module script, and then we'll be done. So I'll just literally just go over here. You're just gonna go right here, to the grow seed function, comma. You're just gonna put was created. This is to prevent. This is to pretty much essentially set this equal to true to prevent there being multiple plants created and stuff, right? When we call the grow seed function. Because let's say you have a plant that was like at 84% um when the player left, right? It's already gonna have its plant created. We don't want it to call this and then like it says, oh, okay, so it's greater than 80, which means it needs to create a plant. No, it already has a plant, right? So we're simply just gonna press enter, just put some space there, and then you're just gonna say if was created, which means one the variable sent over into it set to true. Enter, then you're just say plant created is set to true, so that it knows not to do that. One last thing. This doesn't fix any bugs. It just prevents the error messages, which were pretty annoying. Of like whenever you left and stuff, it would say like, "Oh, seed is no longer a member of this." So you're just gonna say seed find first child in quotation mark growth percentage, then throw an and then I forgot. I accidentally said that to a calculation. Yeah. There we go. So then that'll prevent that error message, which, should be less annoying. Okay, let's go ahead and test to make sure everything works and stuff. Go ahead and publish everything. Not gonna lie to you, I might have stuff already saved because, like I said, I tested it prior to. Yeah, as you guys can see, well, as you can see, it works clearly because I had stuff saved already and stuff, right? But let me just go ahead and share it real quick. I'm just let this seed finish growing, and then I'm gonna show y'all. So one, I'm gonna just sell everything I currently have. And I'm gonna just go pick this up real quick. Okay, collect. So I'm go on over here. Carrot seed, strawberry seed. I'm gonna plant it. Boom, boom. Right, you can see they're growing regularly and stuff. Right. I'm gonna stop. Hopefully my data saved. If not, we're gonna have to do it the manual way. Press play. Come back. And it did not save. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and buy. I don't know if that's because there's an error or if it's just because of how I left. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to server side. Disconnect my client. Oh no, actually no. No, I did something wrong because it should have deleted this. Yeah, I should have deleted this. Which means I did something wrong here. If not seed is a wait, if it's not a union operation. Wait, is that what it's not though? Wait, I'm confused. Is it not us? Wait, I'm so confused. Is it not us? But that's a union operation. I'm confused. Hold on, let me figure this out real quick. Wait. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm stupid. My bad, guys. My bad. I'm stupid. Never mind. Hold on. I figured it out. I honestly didn't do. I did this part while I was talking. I honestly didn't do this before the video. Hold on. Go here. My bad. I'm a little stupid. Do seed dot plant. If not seed dot plant. I forgot. It's not the seed. The seed is always a part. It's the plant. That's what it is. My bad. So it was. Yeah. It just wasn't saving. Okay. Now let's do it. Okay. Growing. Right. Let's see what happens now. If I remove my player. Oh, okay, we're getting somewhere. If not seed dot plant is not a valid member of carrot seed. Huh. You know what? Never mind. We're just gonna remove this. We're just gonna remove this. Just simply put, we're just gonna remove this. Yeah. Yeah. It just simply won't work for multi-harvest, but it shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, we're just gonna do this. Boom, boom. If there is errors, y'all just let me know. So we're just gonna do this. Because this is how I had it before I talk. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is how I had it before. So yeah, so just remove that whole if statement right there. This is how I had it before. That's before I added that. Boom, come back, and they're there. And just like that, they're right back to growing. Yep, 70. Oh, I thought it was 80. I didn't. Yep, there we go. Yep, they'll continue growing, and then you're able to collect them and then sell them just as you would any of the other things. So yeah, this is the finalizes data saving and stuff. I'm probably gonna wrap up the series. Not gonna lie, because like I said, not doing as well as other series. Plus I feel like I've covered the basic mechanics for this game. So I'm probably honestly just gonna end things off with, of course, number one, everything everyone has been wanting, admin commands, and probably just admin commands, in-game events, as well as um mutations. That's probably just the last stuff I'm just gonna do, stuff for people. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, definitely leave a like, subscribe. Like I said, continue showing the series love and support, and I will continue making more videos for it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. If you enjoy it, leave a like and subscribe. Let me know if any bugs you guys find, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.